questions?
Coach, brand new season is finally here. I know you guys have been going at it, whether it be through the summer and these guys playing pickup games and obviously starting practice, going against each other. How good is it going to be to get on the floor against someone other than yourselves, obviously?
The players are definitely looking forward to it. The last couple weeks, everybody's basically tired of practicing, definitely tired of beating up on each other, and they're ready to, have outside competition. Certainly we have, the close scrimmage opportunities, but, we haven't played with the lights on or the popcorn popping. And, even for us, like, I got out of bed this morning, it's a little bit different bounce in your step, thinking, man, tomorrow when we get up, it's going to be game day. And regardless of where you're at, with your team, when you start the season, that newness, that freshness, that, what lies ahead is fun. And, that's where we're at.
With some of the injuries that you guys obviously have in, at the guard position, I mean, just how much is that going to impact kind of what you're doing early on in the season, considering that you have a lot of guys coming back, and normally I think you would lean on that experience, but maybe it's going to be a little bit different with some guys like AJ out.
It's going to impact us heavily. You don't lose, that quality of players and not miss a beat. I mean, it's just not humanly possible. And just the experience factor. Those guys have been through the wars. AJ's been here since I've arrived, and it's been my starting point guard since we stepped foot on campus. And that's like losing your quarterback, and you're just not going to just replace him like that. And then Clayton had the best summer, fall of anybody in our program in terms of coming in the best shape and just having the right attitude, and developed into our best defender. He was shooting the best percentage from three until he went down individually. And then even Wilfred, he was an emerging player in practice, 6'9" forward, that was going to be relied on to play some minutes off the bench. And, that's not going to change. We've had a couple weeks to try to figure it out, but it's going to impact us. Certainly it's going to affect how we play. How that unfolds remains to be seen. We need to get on the floor and play against somebody else and figure out, how we're going to play and how we're going to react to the situation that we're in. And but I'm pretty confident that, these guys are pretty tough guys, and they're not going to lay down. They're going to give everything they have, and we're certainly as coaches going to put a plan together to try to put them in the best spot we can and throw the ball up and see where we're at.
Coach, your insight. Go ahead.
Coach, what does Coach Corey Baker bring to the team?
He's hit the ground running. I knew he would from my past experience with him, so he knew the basis of our program and our culture and our expectations and even terminology for the most part. So that's been nice for his transition. And he's a guy that everybody likes. Once you get to know him, he's just one of those people that, you don't find anybody saying a bad word about him. And our kids love him. He's really good with the guys, and he's developed quick relationships with them. And he's a positive guy. He's an energy bringer. He brings energy to practice every day, and he's been around the block now after we worked together. He hadn't had a lot of experience then, but now he's been in other programs, and he's probably got more confidence in terms of speaking up in practice and having ideas, and so that's been a welcomed addition as well.
You've got a couple of young centers. Have they developed to where they can be Yvonne's backup, or is that still a work in progress?
Well, we have no choice. I mean, are they developed to the point where they're ready to play in big-time atmospheres? No. But it's going to be one of those deals where they're going to be thrown into the fire because we have no choice. We're very limited that way with our numbers, obviously, and one of those two is going to have to figure it out. And we've been trying to, pry it out of them for the last couple weeks. And, even we knew that going into the season. I mean, Wilfred's a 4. But when he was healthy, we could slide Johnny over more and play some 5 behind Yvonne. But with Wilfred out, we're just limited now with our rotations and who's available. We have 10 scholarship players that are healthy, and that's not going to change till January. We'll only have 12, obviously, when those two get back. But in terms of those two young centers, I mean, one's a freshman and with no minutes of college basketball, and the other one's a sophomore with very limited minutes and never playing in a game when it was meaningful with Robert Brown. But we definitely been pulling and prodding them, and we've had some some good days, but to me, it's like they take one big step forward and they take 2 steps back the next day, and that's the way it's been for them, and hopefully, it'll click here sooner than later. But my idea of big guys has always been it takes a little time. You just got to stay with them. That eventually they get better, and both of them have a chance to be excellent players. We just need them to be really, really good right now, and they just need more time.
In AJ's absence, I mean, who's the guy that needs to take the biggest step forward and lead this team? Is it Buchanan?
We're not really asking anyone to take a big step forward. We're just asking everyone to be the best version of them. And, I don't think you can really do that. I think you've just got to do it by committee, and it starts with me. We all got to be better. And that's what we've talked about as a group is everybody has to have the right attitude every day, and they've got to be more productive every day. They have to have the right approach every day because we just don't have any room for error. And so we've tried to be better at practice all the way down from me to the assistants to the players. But in terms of anyone, trying to fill those shoes, that's not going to happen. Certainly, there are opportunities now for other people to step up and be productive players for us. And that, again, remains to be seen. The obvious choices are Sean Buchanan, and thankfully he's got a bunch of experience behind him that will help. Jabari Rice is a guy now because of his ability to play different positions that will have some more opportunities than maybe he would have. And then even Sean Williams, the transfer from East Carolina, is probably, looking up at a couple other 2 guards, and he's only a 2 guard right now. And he'll have to be able to step up and play meaningful minutes right away. So, it'll unfold the way it does, but we're not really looking at any one person to try to fill those shoes.
With all the notable kind of the notoriety that Trev's gotten, obviously you went from a guy last year that not a lot of people knew about to now a guy that's being talked about as a potential conference player of the year. What are you looking to see from Trev this season?
Just consistency. That's been his biggest obstacle since he arrived, is to be an everyday guy. He wasn't last year. He'd have 2 or 3 good days and then have an awful day. Then he'd have another couple of decent days and then go backwards. That's been the missing component for him in his life, for that matter. I mean, everywhere he's been, he just hasn't been a consistent performer and had the right mindset. And I think we're seeing him evolve. I mean, he's been better this fall thus far. And, the reality of it is he's got to be really good for us. And he can't have a lot of off nights. We just don't have the ability to stick other people in there and go to our bench and just sit him down when he's not right. And certainly we're talking about it daily with him, and he's responded, so far so good. We're just hopeful that he can be that everyday guy for us throughout the year.
If he becomes consistent, could he become another Zach Lofton?
Yeah, I don't know. Jack, I'm not that smart. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't predict things like that. They're completely different players. Can he be as productive as Zach? I would love for that to happen. I don't know if it can. I'm sure in his eyes, he's very confident it can. But again, it'll remain to be seen. We're more trying to get him to be a two-way player. He's been an offensive-minded player his whole career. He's never really been demanded to defend at the level that we're trying to defend at, and that's been the missing piece for him. And it's just not natural for him. It's not something that comes natural for him, and we've really been trying to get him to, like I said, play both ends of the floor, and hopefully he'll continue to try to work on his defense.
What about same kind of question with Yvonne? Where do you want to see him make the biggest leap this year?
That's the problem we're having is, it's like one of those taboo deals. Like, you don't want to think about it. We've had a rash of injuries, but it's not like we can't get injured anymore, and we are. We've had, the regular type of injuries are still going to happen to us. Terrell Brown didn't practice last week. We don't know if he's going to play tomorrow. Sean Williams didn't practice Thursday or Friday. Yvonne didn't finish practice Friday or Saturday, just with contusions and ankle turns. And so we literally had about 7 guys finish practice Saturday, and Yvonne was one of them. So, that's the taboo part of not, talking about, the what if factor, but that's real. And, we have to be really, really creative this year in terms of how we're practicing and how mindset is approaching practice and trying to get better without banging them quite as much. But then you worry that if you start doing that, the softness will creep in and you won't be as physical as you need to be on game day. So it's a tight wire rope, if you will, that we're walking every day. And right now we're on the other side of it. We're banged up. Fortunately, we got a while before we play a Division I opponent, with UTEP looming a week from tomorrow. But Yvonne, again, just obviously with Eli's departure and no, real new additions to the program other than the two young 5-men that we talked about earlier, he has an opportunity to be more of a mainstay in the lineup and play more minutes and hopefully be more productive. And we're just hopeful that jump from year 1 to year 2 where kids usually make the most strides, that he'll do it. But we just needed to be, more consistent scoring around the basket. He'll have games where he's really on. Then he'll have games where, he can't put the ball in the hole. And we're going to need him to score around the basket this year.
How frustrating has this all been? I mean, before you even tip it off, the fact that you're having to sit there and be creative during practices to make sure they're getting in the work, but at the same time, you're not losing any more guys. It seems like that's got to be a frustrating deal before the season even starts.
Yeah, it's hard. It's been really, really hard. But like I've told a bunch of people, nobody cares. I understand that. On game day, the fans don't care that we're hurt. Certainly our opponents don't care at all, and we all obviously understand that. Our family really doesn't care. They want to win too. So it is what it is. And, hopefully in the end there'll be some silver lining. Hopefully you'll become a better coach and trying to get everything you can out of each individual every day from top to bottom. And hopefully our players understand, and I know they do, of the situation we're in. And they've got to be better. And we've got to be performing at close to maximum output, on game night. We just don't have much room for error anymore. And so I got a lot of confidence in the guys in that room. I believe in them. They're tough guys. They're accepting the challenge, but it's certainly a big hill to climb, with where we're at. But at the same time, these guys aren't going to lay down. They're not going to say, oh, well, we'll just wait till January. That's not going to be the approach. We're going to do everything we can to stave off these teams that are coming after us, and at the end of the day, just to try to play as best we can on game night.
Last one I got is just, what do you want to see out of tomorrow night? Perfect world, you're back here, tomorrow night talking to the media. What do you want to see when you're kind of back in the seats? Yeah,
I just want to see us play as a cohesive unit. Like, I want to see us play the way that we feel is the right way. Play our system, share the ball, play inside out, and then certainly, get all over the glass. That's something we've done for 2 years, and that's got to continue to be a staple for us. And then defensively, just, fly around with your hair on fire and be in the right spot. And just, I want to see that we've gotten better. I want to see that we've improved from the video that we have of the scrimmages that we had, and that all the mistakes that were pointed out. And that's the biggest thing I want to be able to say, is that I want to tell our team in the locker room, and I'd love to be here tomorrow telling you guys that we got better. And that's really all you can ask for as a coach, is continue to get better, continue to strive, to be the most productive team and player you can be. And at that point, the chips fall where they may be. But that's definitely the goal.
You say Terrell probably questionable.
Yeah.
Yvonne?
He'll play, but he's not. Yeah, I haven't seen him today. So we were off yesterday, but Friday, Saturday, it was we had some guys that were on the sideline.
Terrell's pretty much though the guy that you would put the biggest question on.
Him and Sean Williams.
Him and Sean. Okay.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that they'll play, but I haven't talked to the trainer yet today to see how they did yesterday with rehab.
Okay.